laughed at you throughout your 20s, ignored the fire behind your ambition, ridiculed your intensity, and mocked your preference for solitude over social scenes. They called you strange for choosing focus over parties, for building your future instead of chasing fleeting highs. But what if I told you that life is only just now beginning for you? Welcome to the era in which the Sigma male comes fully into his own. Not at 21, not even at 25, but at 30 or perhaps even 40. This video isn't about hyping up trendy buzzwords. It's here to help you understand why your strength as a man, especially one who is stoic, self-propelled, and internally fueled, doesn't manifest early. It matures, it deepens, it sharpens with age. Let's explore why your 30s and 40s are not a decline, but rather the launchpad for the most powerful and impactful years of your life as a Sigma. 1. Wisdom begins to replace impulse. During your 20s, it's likely that you made choices driven by adrenaline, validation, or a desire to fit in. But by the time you reach your 30s and 40s, you begin making decisions from a deeper place. Clarity rather than chaos. This is when Stoicism shifts from being a concept to becoming an instinct. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. By 30, you've seen enough poor decisions to recognize the price of ego-driven actions. You stop seeking approval. You no longer argue just to win. You begin responding with intention rather than reacting impulsively. And that's when others start to respect your silence. The younger man speaks to impress. The Sigma in his prime listens to understand. You've learned that most confrontations are pointless, that most arguments don't change minds, and that most drama exists only to feed fragile egos. So you cultivate something rare: discernment. You've developed the ability to know when to engage and when to retreat into strategic silence. Where your younger self may have felt the need to defend every opinion and prove your worth at every turn, now you understand that real power lies in being selective, choosing your battles with the precision of a seasoned strategist. 2. Money and stability begin catching up. Let's be honest, most Sigma males don't burst onto the scene with instant success. You're not loud, you're not a bragger, and you're not trying to be seen. Because of that, people may assume you're lagging behind. But what they don't see is that while others were spending, flexing, and performing for attention, you were building, studying, and investing. Now entering your 30s or 40s, those quiet seeds are beginning to bloom. The business you nurtured starts to pay dividends. Your mindset becomes sharper. You grow financially independent. Suddenly, you're not chasing women or validation. They start gravitating toward your peace. The compound interest of your discipline begins yielding results that shallow showboats can't replicate. The quiet investments you made in skills, in knowledge, in long-term assets start to tower over the fleeting gratification others pursued. What others saw as boring, you knew was foundational. What they called missing out, you recognized as strategic sacrifice. By your mid-30s, you've built something stable, something that doesn't rely on trends, followers, or constant affirmation. Something that works even while you sleep. And there's a powerful freedom in that. Not just financial freedom, but psychological freedom too. You're no longer beholden to anyone's approval or paycheck. 3. You learn how to be alone without feeling lonely. This one hits deep. In your 20s, solitude can feel like punishment. You might even wonder if something's wrong with you. But by your 30s or 40s, you come to realize that being alone is actually a luxury. You're not lonely, you're focused. You'd rather spend a Friday night reading Marcus Aurelius in silence than drain your energy at some noisy, superficial gathering. As Seneca wisely advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. And sometimes, that person is you. You protect your time. You choose silence. You evolve quietly, away from the spotlight. You've come to understand the difference between connection and distraction, between meaningful relationships and social consumption. The average man fills his calendar to avoid being alone with himself, but the Sigma male turns inward and cultivates his inner world so deeply that he becomes his own best company. This isn't about isolation, it's about intention. When you do choose to spend time with others, it's because their presence adds value, not because you fear being alone with your thoughts. Your solitude has become sacred. It's the space where your vision clears, your purpose strengthens, and your next move takes shape without the noise of constant input. 4. Your face hardens and your energy sharpens. There's something undeniably powerful in how a man ages, especially one who has walked through fire. At 22, you might have wanted everyone to like you. At 35, your energy speaks before you do. I don't care if you like me, I respect myself. You walk differently, you talk less. You only smile when it's genuine, and people feel that shift, even if they can't articulate it. This is when gravity begins to replace charm. Women notice it, men respect it. And it didn't come from reading books or attending seminars. It came from the pain you survived in silence. It's in your eye contact that doesn't waver, in the way you hold your ground without needing to raise your voice, in how you've traded nervous energy for quiet confidence. The lines around your eyes tell stories of battles fought and won. The calm in your voice speaks of storms endured, and the steadiness in your presence reflects a man who's seen both victory and loss, and fears neither. You've become the kind of man younger men want to emulate, and the kind of man women instinctively trust, not because you demanded attention, but because you've earned presence. 5. You're no longer a slave to desire. In youth, it's easy to get trapped in cycles of short-term pleasure, cheap dopamine, shallow attention, constant validation. But with age, the Stoic within you begins to awaken. You finally understand what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You no longer chase the high. You realize that mastery doesn't come from acquiring more, it comes from needing less. You detach from lust, chaos, and noise. You become grounded. The real freedom isn't found in unlimited indulgence, it's found in selective engagement. You've seen firsthand how desire breeds dependency, how what men pursue often ends up controlling them. But through reflection, you've learned to separate wants from needs, impulse from fulfillment. That doesn't mean you reject life's pleasures, it means you enjoy them on your terms, consciously, not compulsively. You are the master, not the addict. While others scramble for their next hit of dopamine, you operate from a place of purpose. 6. You failed enough to know what truly matters. By now, you've tasted failure, maybe in business, in love, even in your relationship with yourself. And that's exactly what sets you apart. Sigma males learn in silence. You don't broadcast every win, you let your silence carry your weight. Failure taught you to let go of what's beyond your control, to stop chasing what wants to leave, to stop clinging to what breaks you. You've stopped fighting life, and you've begun to align with it. This is the very core of Stoicism. To endure without bitterness, to lose with grace, and to rebuild with clarity. Your relationship with failure distinguishes you. You no longer see it as punishment or shame. You see it as redirection, as friction that forges clarity. The failed ventures, the broken relationships, the unmet expectations, they stripped away your illusions and gave you something more valuable: vision. Now you walk forward as a man who's been broken and rebuilt, stronger, wiser, and untethered by the fear that traps weaker men in mediocrity. 7. You've crafted your own inner code. By your 30s and 40s, your values are no longer up for debate. You don't play games. You know exactly what you stand for and what you'll walk away from. The Sigma male doesn't need to be understood, he needs to be respected, and that starts from within. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You stop trying to be liked, you stop justifying your path. You act according to principle, not emotion, and that unnerves people who rely on chaos and control. Your boundaries are clear, your time is guarded, your energy is protected. You've seen what happens when you compromise your values. It breeds regret. You've learned how bending for others' approval only creates resentment. So you've drawn clear lines, not from pride, but from clarity. Your inner code isn't about being superior, it's about knowing yourself so well that external noise can't penetrate your focus. In a world spinning with distraction, you've become the unshakable center, anchored, certain, and immovable. 8. You finally understand, you're not behind. One of the most freeing realizations is this: you're not late, you're not behind, you're on your own timeline. Most men peak too soon. They rush into marriage before knowing themselves. They burn out by 35. They spend their 40s protecting past decisions rather than building a future. But not you. You've been observing, reflecting, evolving. And now when you step into the world with intention, people ask, where did this guy come from? The truth is, you've been here all along, quietly becoming. Society pushes deadlines. Graduate at 22, marry by 30, get promoted by 35, retire by 65. But the Sigma male knows these are artificial milestones, meant to serve systems, not the soul. Your path unfolds on its own schedule. Look at history's greats. Many didn't hit their stride until well into their 40s, 50s, or 60s. Their early decades weren't wasted. They were preparation. You too have been conserving energy, honing your edge. While others exhaust themselves in constant motion, you're now poised to endure, to not only shine, but to sustain your light. 9. You've integrated both your shadow and your light. Perhaps the most powerful transformation in a mature Sigma male is the merging of contradictions. In your 20s, you tried to be one thing, strong or soft, driven or balanced. But now you embody paradox. You're gentle and fierce, content yet ambitious, focused but flexible. You've accepted the shadow you once denied. You've realized that true power lies in wholeness, not in perfection. Controlled darkness, just like cultivated light, holds immense power. Where the young strive for purity, the mature strive for integration. This duality makes you unpredictable, unmanipulable, and deeply authentic in a world obsessed with curated images. 10. Your legacy begins now. Whether you're 30, 40, or beyond, this is where your real impact begins. While others slow down, you accelerate. While they cling to the past, you look boldly toward the future. While they defend what they've built, you strategize what's next. The Sigma male's greatest years lie ahead, not behind. Because you've built with patience, you've earned your growth through resistance, you've stayed hungry while growing wise. Now everything converges, your mindset, skills, resources, and experience. This isn't reckless ambition, it's focused intent. And remember, you're not late, you're right on time. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. You're one of the few who refuses to settle, who doesn't just exist, but builds. The Sigma path isn't for everyone. It demands patience where others rush. It requires strength where others fold. It asks for silence where others scream. But for those who walk it, for those who embrace delayed gratification, inner mastery, and principled living, the rewards go beyond anything most will ever experience. Join us. Your prime hasn't passed. It's just arriving. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.